This is it. What? Welcome back to this is the right beat. Welcome back to Club 835. Welcome back to the Black Rasslin Podcast. Shouts out to Bad Liquor Drinking Jermaine, my cousin. Hi to all y'all weirdos out there. Another Thursday, another week. That's my brother from the land, Jersey in the house. Shouts out Twan. How you doing? Peace to Tonio in the building. Shouts out to Dora where it's the hot Cheetos. Dora said she was gonna be in the building. Justin in the building. Shouts out to Justin in the building. T Haynes in the building. Shouts to T Haynes in the building. Sorry. Meg's in the building. Shouts to Meg's in the building. Yeah, whole squad up here. Yeah, well, Joe Dixon in the building. Shouts to Joe Dixon in the building. I don't know if I'm doing that for everybody, but all y'all early birds, y'all get that. Wait, hold up. Ken Lou in the building. Peeps in the building. Mighty Vin in the building. Shouts to y'all. Yeah, it's y'all. The early birds get the early bird special. Loading in the building. You got what vest you got on? Why you got a vest on? Joey Savage in the building. Shouts out to the early birds, man. Nah, peeps, I got you. I'm here. Jack's Pocket in the building. And whoever's watching on the Facebooks, I see y'all. Shouts out to y'all. Yeah, Jermaine, what kind of vest you got on? What's everybody drinking on right now? Who else is in here? My fault. Hold up. Because Jermaine shared a Yamin. Hold up. Because Jermaine, you're gonna be streaming later, right? You're gonna be on as well, right? Susio gonna be in the building, right? If Susio's in the building, that's what you wearing? Let me get these DMs out the way. I don't know who DMing, but let me get these DMs out the way. This what you gonna be wearing, Jermaine? This your fur vest? Brother? He got the hey. I don't know nothing about no Diddy vest. Eric Isaac in the building. Eric Isaac's consistent. He always be in the Facebook. Shouts out to Eric Isaac for real. Creek, big DJ Creek in the building. Shouts to Creek for real. Hope you well. Yeah, no, I have not had some of Fam's special drink. Fam did say he was concocting a special drink. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't know who's gonna be around tonight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mimi said Mimi's outside, I believe. Mav said he may be late. Fam's working on a special concoction. Speaking of which, Speaking of the Power 5 and the Power 5. Wait. It's say his name and he appears. I believe in Fam Hendry. I believe in Fam Hendry. Oh, sorry. I didn't real. You know what's crazy? I didn't realize that Joe Hendry shit was on TNA like that. Like him being on TV was all the. Like I don't watch TNA like that. So when I finally saw the compilations, I was like, oh shit, they was really working that shit. Nah.
Yeah, I mean that's what made the Mania moment so dope. Is they
played that up.
They did the thing.
They did the thing. No, they 100% did the thing. Who else is in? Who are the early birds in here? Wait, Doc D is in the building. Sorry.
Shout out to Doc.
J Bo is in the building. Mr. D Pause is in the building. Shit.
Pause. I'm definitely a C3W, Doc.
The crowd. This is the second time the crowd is the chat's been asking about.
Oh, we're here, baby. We here, baby. We gonna do the thing.
What is it?
So, Crown Royal Marquis is a luxurious blend of Canadian whiskeys, finished in fine Caribbean rum casks for layers of character and flavor, artfully crafted by our master blenders, which is a result of delicious whiskey with a rich note of honey, brown sugar, and vanilla that gives way to a smooth finish that's unmistakably Crown Royal.
Damn. I promise we're not sponsored, but brother Fam said.
Diageo. I'm not even talking to Crown Royal at this point. Diageo, give me a call. Send that check. Just listen. What do he say on that? He just look. Y'all gonna send the check, or I'm gonna have to turn around these reviews. Now let's see. So the bottle is I'm sorry, the bag is like a purple, but it's like a little deeper purple than usual, and it's a little different from the blackberry bottle. So you know, I mean, this is what we work with around here.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see with the purple accents on there. Yeah.
Right. So.
Okay.
Smooth, buttery Corinthian leather.
Mighty right. What's cognac chicken?
Cognac chicken is crazy.
What's
not eating it. Oh man, yo, I really when I saw this, when I saw this, that would be dope. That so this bottle, when I saw this bottle the first time, I thought it was phony. I thought it was AI. Cause it's similar to the blackberry bottle, but
it's mad purpley though.
Yeah, we're mad purpley. Shout out to the Ravens. You know what I mean? Shout out to the schedule came out this week. Y'all niggas is mad.
I saw hella schedules.
Yeah, well, all the NFL schedule came out this week, and how it rolls out is they kind of instead of they don't announce everything. They start to leak things out. Pause. It's like the first game of the season is Cowboys, Eagles in Philly.
I did see that. There was another.
That's very
game
funny,
too,
Mac.
right?
So we also, the NFL is really leaning on the Cowboys for ratings this year. I mean, but it's nothing new. I'm sorry, I'm America's team and whatnot. I'm sorry. I didn't make the decision.
That's the name of the team. That's what
I didn't make the decision, right? But no, Christmas.
Yeah.
God, what's up, God? What's up, babe?
Where?
I think I haven't talked to Lovely in this format in a long time. I feel like it's been too long. Let's talk.
Come on.
But no. They hitching their wagon to the Cowboys. We're playing on Thanksgiving as usual. That is the Chiefs, the fake Americans team. You know what I mean? Not that they're not a good team, but people try to say that they're the Americans team right now. I'm like, nah, because it's still a contract with them. If Kansas City's winning, people will talk about them. If they're not winning, they're just not winning. We'll win. We go 8-8. We lose. Them niggas still rapping. I mean, niggas still talking Cowboys. I mean, I'm me. How you think I got it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, let's see.
Let's see.
Crown Royal glass.
Okay. As per.
Yeah.
Let me turn this music down a little. Semper Vivi. Piece of Semper Vivi in the
Shout out to Semper Vivi.
Sem, in the mail today, I've this Circle City Classic T-shirt that ever since we had that conversation about the Circle City Classic, I found a Circle City Classic T-shirt. I've been trying to. There's not that much good content on the Circle City Classic. People mention what it is, but not I'm not seeing too much in depth. We may need to have some conversations about that. So, peace to you.
You know what? Maybe I should try it without ice first.
Maybe try it without ice first, and then see how it go on the rocks.
Shout out to my guy Zell. What do you say? On the nose.
Shout out Chris Green. Peace to you.
On the nose. It's a bit sweet.
It's purple, right? It's that purple drink.
Well, no. That's just the bottle.
We do got.
The bottle is not clear. This is the first Crown bottle. So the bottle is actually
it's purple
color. It's a smoky because now when it came out, babe, it's just.
The question is though, is it just plain Crown? It's got to be something different though. It's marquee.
So it's Crown Royal. So they age it. In rum barrels. Is basically what this is. Oh, so it's like they make whiskey and then they age it like they age rum.
Gotcha.
So let's see.
I'm sorry, Facebook people. There may be some issues with the stream. I'm sorry.
Yes. So
it's got a different vibe to it.
If you drink spice rum, it starts like Crown Royal, but this finishes like almost like a Captain Morgan. It's super smooth.
Oh, okay.
This is all right. It's sweet. There's a sweetness, but not sweet like not like the flavors.
Got you.
Because I ain't no big like apple and all that. I'm not big on nah, Doc, I wouldn't ask that. Ain't no drink order with me, babe.
Yeah,
Fam, you got liquor? Is it Crown Royal? Drink it. Like that's it. That's the conversation. Right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So,
wait, just so we know, Facebook is jacked up right now. You got to go up on the YouTubes or the Twitters to watch, or YouTubes or Twitters right now to watch live. Facebook, it's not my fault.
Okay.
I had to remove the stream when I tried to put the stream back up. It said, "Hey, do you want to remove that stream?" So, my fault. It's 6 minutes. So 6 minutes. Dougie Fresh your own. It's a good amount of content over there, but hit to the YouTube. I'm sorry, what you were saying about the fan? My fault.
So no, the sweetness is sweet, like how rum is sweet. It's like it finishes sweet,
gotcha.
but it's not like it's not like sugary sweet, like how all the apples and the goddamn vanillas. It's not that. It's Crown Royal. It's Crown Royal going down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's just smooth. It finishes smooth and sweet.
Got you.
Hey,
does it say how long it had been aged in the Yameen?
No, I don't think it say. I don't know if it got a.
Whatever
nah.
it is, it did the job. That agent did the job.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like, okay, so yeah, it's got the notes of honey, brown sugar, vanilla. That gives that smooth finish way. Yeah. That's it, man. It's finished in Caribbean rum cask for a rich and silky taste.
Got you.
Yeah, okay. I mean, from the whiskey brand, crafted as a gift for royalty.
My Yameen is messed. I'm gonna be right back.
Fair enough. Hold it down.
Wait, if I can, what the fuck is going on with this mouse? I can't tell if it's the mouse. I can't tell if it's the computer. Hold on one second.
Fair enough. I had to. The funny part is, I was gonna be on time. However, my computer, I couldn't get the computer to come up, so I'm on my phone currently.
I was gonna say you do look like you were. All right, here we go. Yeah, you do like you were a little closer to the Yameen right now.
Yeah, that's to me. Oh, hold on. She must have heard me talking about it. She acting right. Hold on.
Shit. Here we go.
But yeah, no. We coming along. We coming along.
I want that purple stuff. It's crazy. It is Twine. It is free advertising, but the thing is niggas like imagine how much advertising Heineken's got since.
But no,
in the last 5 years.
I thought it was interesting. I saw it in the store. I figured, hey, yeah, we giving it away, pause. But sometimes you got to, you know what I mean? You gotta get your red chili peppers on sometimes.
Facts. Fam got that purple drink.
Yeah, hey. But I'm gonna be honest. It's good. Like I would drink. I'm gonna buy this again. It is more. It's more expensive than OG. It's definitely more expensive than OG. So I will not be too freely. This will probably never be in the bag if you see me out in the streets.
Right. That you may get 3 pods out. Well, 2.
It's some. I mean, this is. We'll see.
You'll get a pod of some change out that bottle.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they upcharging because it's new and you can't get it everywhere.
I was gonna say, I'm knowing my area. I can't imagine, when I'd actually be able to purchase a bottle. I'd have to go like.
Hey yo,
that is kind of crazy. I'd have to go like 20 minutes outside of town to Sean Trice. I'll be in and out. Shouts to you, yo.
Hey yo.
We
I appreciate that.
We may be talking AEW. I'm actually
he's having a good night.
I'm legit rewatching AEW right now. Well, I'm at the end of watching AEW. Not to, I guess, in effort to keep a show that's live going. Let me put a Yameen up there, I guess. And I want to preface this by saying I don't know how to talk about this because shouts out to Math. piece of your brothers keeping you sharp and helping you remember what's going on. Because like, was it Monday? Was it Sunday? When did the news of Sabu passing hit? There was definitely a tribute at the top of Raw on Monday. I don't remember if it was Sunday night though. Chat, please, if y'all remember when news of Sabu passed. Joey Savage
probably Sunday.
It feels like Sunday. It might have been Sunday. Yeah. I feel like I woke up or was at a point where I was doing some Sabu passed on Mother's Day. There was a point that it may have been early though, because I was shit. Happy belated Mother's Day. Shouts out to Mimi. Shouts out to all the real mothers out there.
Hey, before we do get into this, brother Cal, how was Mother's Day for you?
I was busy. I ended up having my mama and my better half. Yeah, I was frying chicken. I was making. I tried to get them some good stuff. My mama said my chicken was good, so that's really. My wife said my chicken was good. My mama said my chicken was good though. So that's
when mom say the bird good, man. I swear to you, the moms and the aunties, boy, it hit me in my heart, boy.
It's like they feel like they've done something, proper. How about you? I know.
So that morning, my mom came up. That morning, my sister was actually the person who gave like the message in church. So she was like the preacher. That was dope because like half my family showed up. Boy, we was in that church deep.
Right.
And so then after that, we all piled over. My brother-in-law cooked. We all piled over there, man. Ate good food, had some crabs. When moms come up, she want the crabs now because she can't get them like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't down there like that. So, but yeah, man, it was a really, really good day. Did a lot of hanging out, a lot of elbow bends.
Out, yeah. My mama left. She left later than I thought she was gonna leave, but it was still early enough to where like we just got to chill for the rest of the day. My wife didn't have to do much, so that felt like it was a good enough Sunday. But thinking back though, it feels like it was probably earlier that day. So I want to say I woke up and hit the timeline and saw the news like, oh shit, Sabu. Only because I remember being in Vegas because we were the BRP plan in Vegas to go to Heels Have Eyes was meet up at the casino spot at like 11, outside at 11, and I was there a little early, so I walked inside because I'd been to the spot once, but I walked in just to see what it was like in there, and there was mad people coming outside, and the people coming outside was talking about how they was talking about the Sabu match, and somebody said something about that was Sabu just had his last match. I didn't realize it was the Joey Janela spring break GCW, that had just happened that was letting out as we were congregating. So and on top of that, I didn't shouts out to Brian. I didn't realize that Sabu was having his final match on that show. It looked like it was a problem. Like many Sabu matches, but for like a Joker to be 60 years old and still taking those barbed wire, those flying out the ring, all those spots, it was a lot. But it I guess it was based off of the interview that dropped on Yahoo Uncrowned, I guess the day after. That would have dropped Monday. It sounds like Sabu was touch and go for that show. I'm no narcotic expert. I don't know what kratom is in terms of like if you should or should not be wrestling on kratom. I don't know how that works. I've seen back and forth. I've seen a lot of uproar on the drug. I've seen a lot of people say that Sabu credited weed and kratom to be what got him off of painkillers and a lot of the other stuff that he'd been hooked on. But either way, 60-year-old is 60 years old. So it's wild to hear that less than a month after he had his final match, he passed away, primarily because brother Sabu, I don't know if I should call him brother, Sabu was so influential for like like we talk about a lot of people being influential, but like for Sabu to have really started hitting, he hit ECW in like late '93. The same month he had dark matches in WWE, he had ECW, and Jokers wasn't flying through tables like that. Jokers wasn't doing shit with chairs and flying over the ring, barbed wire, all that stuff that he was doing, that deathmatch stuff. That was like, he was a pioneer in Japan in '94 doing that stuff. When he left ECW, like it was to think about how many times you watch a WWE show in the last year or two where a table broke. And then think about the first time you saw Sabu break a table. Because it wasn't just like he put somebody on the table and he broke a table. There were times where Sabu he had a match, he'd win the match, and then to celebrate him winning the match, he'd put a table in the ring and just start doing moonsaults through until he broke through the table. Like, it's part madman, it's part spectacle, but you know, it turned into a hardcore art form. Now, I mean, hell, a large chunk of AEW, you know's aesthetic right now is credited to that ECW brand of violence in pro wrestling. Oh, yeah. I think a lot of the spots, there's just a bunch of stuff that he would do. The Taz, the shit with Taz, his matches with Tuco Scorpio. I will say, and that's why I mentioned Math earlier. I don't mean to go off on a rant, but the problem with you know, your heroes being around for a while is you remember situations like almost 10 years ago where Sabu having beef with Taz in real life turned this Sabu calling Taz a nigga. Well, a hard R, I should say. Which is ironic only because everybody thought Taz was black, but Taz is the whole
Peter.
That Peter is Italian.
Peter Red. Oh, Pete.
But you know, and even there was a couple of interviews I'd seen like not that long ago where like they were talking about, and the way he tried to justify the situation was like, oh yeah, you're not somebody I would have a beer with after the WrestleManias. But it's I say all that to say I acknowledge the fact that dude was a pioneer in certain aspects of pro wrestling. I saw that motherfucker get his neck broke on TV.
Nigga, I have an amazing well, I ain't gonna call it amazing. I have a very fun Sabu story.
Talk about it.
I did share in the chat.
Yes.
I was on my honeymoon, right? I'm on my honeymoon and there's a storm. We're on a cruise. My wife and I go on a cruise, and we're in I think Kissimmee, I think is where or near Orlando. Either way, that's where the cruise goes off. So sure. We hit land and we get stuck a few extra days in Orlando because of this hurricane. So our paths crossed. My mom, my cousin, and my sister all had come down to visit my uncle who lived in Orlando, right? This is after, so our honeymoon is technically over. So right. We're in Orlando, and so we link. Hey, what's up? You know, we all hang out. And we're like, all right, well, let's go to Universal Studios. So we go to Universal Studios and do the walk around thing. Lo and behold, they're having a wrestling taping. So I am the only wrestling fan. I mean, my wife is a wrestling fan by marriage, but I am the only wrestling fan. And we've been doing stuff everybody else wants to do. They were like, all right, fine, we'll go with you and do what you want, you know, do a little 1 hour, 2 hour. So it was a TNA taping. Jeff Hardy's on the card. RVD might have been on the card. I can't remember. But either way, we all go and we're enjoying the show. And even, you know, as people do, they go to a wrestling show and live, they having much fun in the crowd. People are flipping, they're seeing these feats of athleticism. And Sabu is flipping off tables, and the crowd is Sabu.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear Sabu. Mom? Yo, mom's was Sabu. Sabu. Get off my nigga Sabu. Get off my nigga Sabu. Sabu, get that nigga cuz. Like, that was moms. Right? And so over the years, we always bring that story back up. And so late on Sunday night, after we had left my sister's house, sis hits the group chat, me, her, and my mom's. It was like, oh no, not Sabu. And then she hit in all caps, Sabu. So yeah, that is my my Sabu story.
No, I love it. I saw a lot of.
Chill out.
Ma, calm down. I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about how they used to watch ECW. I remember, like Joey Savage talking about him ripping up or tearing up his bicep in that barbed wire match with Terry Funk and getting that duct tape and wrapping that shit around. I mean, somebody was like, I saw somebody like, how do you get the duct tape? Like, there was just duct tape out there. Like, you know, he asked for it. We may have watched that match on the Patreon. It's one of the few Sabu matches we watched on the Patreon. We also recently watched a Too Cold Scorpio match with him. Pay to 1, pay to 10, patreon.com/Black Rasslin. Shouts out to Rich King George. He enjoyed that Sabu story. Nah, yeah. I guess, if I see, there's been a lot of Sabu tributes. I think damn near because he wrestled damn near everywhere. That's the other crazy part. I think in like that 93 to 95, 96 range, he did like the major Japanese. He was doing like the major Americans. I don't know if he did WCW. Maybe for like a hot cup of coffee, but like he's done a lot. Like you mentioned, seeing him at a TNA taping. I think he's probably done a lot more promotions than people realize. Doing this thing. So yeah, 60 is young though, but I think he also had a hard life. He wrestled hard.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear. Because I mean, Taz had some nice words, of course, on AEW. Right. Bubba or Bully Ray, however you call him, has some nice words. They had a whole little round table and busted open. I would love to hear what Heyman had to say.
Heyman would be a good one. Heyman, the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal, death divine. Like he was the one. He was the mouthpiece. Pause. It was him. Yeah. And it was 911 wheeling Sabu out like Hannibal Lecter with the shit over his face on the whole Yamin strapped up. Like Sabu's entrance was a whole thing, and then he'd be up there pointing at the sky and shit. Like it was a whole especially at that era in ECW, because that there was violence, but then as Sabu would come out, you didn't know what was going on because he wouldn't talk.
Boom. I can't recall. I remember what's Buddy? He used to be the referee. It was blowing the whistle. Bill Alfonso. Come on, Fonzie. God dang it. Man, those are the days. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was the beginning of the internet wrestling, right?
Yeah, I want to say they said, I think they credit Joey Styles with starting ECWWrestling.com or something, but because he understood the chat side and the internet side of it. So yeah, I think they were on it earlier or around the time that WWF was with AOL, but I imagine ECW was liver.
So I wish Cuz was here. So Cuz and another guy who was at my wedding, but ain't around no more. Shout out to yo. They were really, really the first two niggas I knew that were like into like, yo, I saw a shoot interview on a chat board. I'm like,
right,
nigga, what? This is 99, maybe 2000, 2001. And niggas talking, yeah, the shoot interview. And we worked at this telemarketing joint. It was this older lady. And apparently she was like a dirt sheet lady. She looked crazy. This old, like homeless looking lady who worked in the call center. She looked homeless, but she had a job because she was working with us.
She had to pay for them dirt sheet subscriptions.
And she was doing, like, she would talk about wrestling, but she would talk about the behind the scenes stuff of it, right? And she would like, oh yeah, we saw Stevie Borden in them. I don't know Stevie Borden.
Who the fuck is Stevie Borden, ma?
Yeah, she was that lady looked crazy, but yeah, cuz and May Man, they used to tell me, like, we would always eat and meet up on Fridays at Old Country Buffet.
Word, shout out.
Yeah, just for lunch every week, every single Friday. Word. And
I don't know why.
One of the things we would sit there, and bust it up about wrestling, and they just be like, yeah, yo, you know, such and such is leaving, or so and so and such, and she just breaking down all this stuff. I'm like, yo, these niggas, yo, I'm just watching on TV. Like, y'all niggas are doing too much. And lo and behold, years later, 20-some years later, we got a goddamn podcast.
I didn't have wrestling friends. Like, I didn't know people, especially when I was like working in real life, that were like, hey, I could talk to you about pro wrestling right now. I didn't know nothing about that. Shout out DDM, yo.
So ask brother DDM. Brother DDM, what's going on, brother? Hey, brother DDM, what are your first memories of like pro wrestling on the internet?
Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask.
Why? Why you say that?
Because I didn't care until the pandemic. So
so let me know, because you've mentioned that, you know, numerous times that you were lapsed and you picked it back up in 2020 during the pandemic. When did you stop watching?
I stopped watching wrestling in 2002.
So you were 18 years lapsed.
Yeah.
Before that, were you just watching TV, or were you online reading, I guess, whatever websites and dirt sheets and stuff like that?
I was totally removed. I didn't know who the Bella Twins was. I didn't know, I only knew about John Cena because he had crossed over to pop culture.
He was in movies and shit
in a way that was like where I would see him.
Right.
But outside of John Cena, I don't know none of these people.
And you didn't see nothing online. You wasn't even worried about nothing.
Well, my algorithm wasn't tuned to it because I didn't watch wrestling.
Makes sense. It's interesting.
All of this stuff, the Zack Ryder stuff, all of that, like, this is all stuff that I did research after I paid my $10.
No, right.
For WWE Network.
Well, I was lapsed for a minute. I was watching like off and on. It was honestly, and it's so morbid. I don't even want to say the weekend that people found out that Chris Benoit, you know, did what he did to his family. It was Chris Benoit didn't show up for the pay-per-view. Like that Sunday. And I was like, wait, what? That sounds weird. And I wasn't normally watching Raw, but that Monday I watched Raw because I was already following the story that whole night. But at that point, when it became sounds weird, when it became like a scandal or whatever, I was and Wikipedia was there. I was at work. Oh, this disconnect to this, and I did like a whole like download in maybe like during the time of that investigation, honestly. Shout out Wikipedia. But yeah, but you figure it's if ECW was the beginning of the IWC, we're talking at that point it would have been like 20 plus years. You know what I mean? Because that was like, what else have I been watching steady since 4 years old? Everybody got to take a break. I took a larger break than a year.
Wow.
24 years, Randy
That's
Sneed
crazy,
says?
Randy Sneed Jr.
24 years?
Hey, DDM, what's the most foreign thing that you regularly hear of? Like, what is these niggas talking about?
That's a good question.
What do you mean?
Well, like somebody
reference
references all the time that's a pro wrestling fan that you have no idea about.
Because you was gone.
Oh, it was several things. Like when they would do those AEW chants, I'm like, what the hell is that? What is dub? And then then I was like, oh, that's a play on ECW, but I didn't watch ECW like that.
Right.
I missed so much stuff. So like I missed JBL's run when people like, oh, JBL is like a rich guy. I'm like, no, that's the motherfucker from APA. Like,
because he had a whole shift in that in between. Yeah,
I didn't know nothing about a CM Punk. So when they yelling these CM Punk chants, I'm like, is that like a thing? Like, I didn't even know this was a person.
He said, what does that even mean?
Yeah, like, yeah, all of it was crazy. I had to, kind of watch and do a deep dive, and I think this speaks to why that WWE Network was so important, because I tell this story all the time. The only reason I started watching wrestling again, I was in the house in the pandemic, November 2020, and my best friend Erica called me and said, the Undertaker ready to retire. And I'm like, paying $50 to watch him, play fight.
Right.
And she's like, no, it's only $10 WWE Network. So I paid the $10. And since I paid the $10 for the month, I'm like, well, let me see what else is going on here in the rabbit hole. But y'all better thank Erica, because if she didn't call me, I still wouldn't have been watching.
You were low key the target audience, though. I mean, at a certain point, that's the story they wanted to hear from that $10. Somebody bought it to watch something new, started watching some of the old stuff, because they would say you could watch the new pay-per-views and also all the pay-per-views from back in the day. Like, that was always the hook. All that stuff in between they didn't really care about, but if you wanted to catch up, you could really sit and go through the motions and watch the because I imagine you start watching documentaries and then start going to the pay-per-views and all that.
Documentaries. That's when I fell in love with Charlotte, because I watched her 24, and I was like, oh, this is a nice lady. And watching the Royal Rumble, I'm like, who the hell is this? Who is this lady? And then I'm a little ratchet sometimes, so like, I look at the algorithm start switching, and they talking about, these older stars need to step back for the newer stars. And then, me being me, I'm like, well, if they was doing what they were supposed to do, I would know who they were, not knowing it was very rough with storylines and things like that. But,
right.
Wrestling fans are a lot. They are a lot. They're smelly. They're they're a lot. They're a lot. Liv Morgan wasn't lying though when she said
get your smelly asses out the way.
She wasn't lying. I was like, sis, even a broke clock is right 2 times a day.
Damn, not broke. She in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
They're at least paying for it right now. That sounds weird. I don't think we special nobody shouts. We did not do nail cam today.
We haven't had a nail cam in like 3 weeks, ain't it?
Something like that. Math ain't here too. Math usually, honestly, Math initiate nail cam. Maybe Math say he may. We'll see if Math drop in.
Math Shiny Bluff.
Shiny Bluff. If Shiny Bluffs drops in, we'll have to check on the nails. Was there anything?
Well, I don't care about Cuz nails. That ain't the nigga we look for the.
I'm just saying that's when the nail. I mean, if
how he got the belt in here, but whatever.
Under the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Oh wow! I thought it was going to be a mermaid drowning or something.
Are those connected? That's the tail on the other nail.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow, with the globe. That's wow. Okay.
Nah, that's crazy. That one's a whole seashell too. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually that's like Dora like that shit. Dora said yes.
Yeah.
Wrestling fans make Star Wars fans look civilized. It's
that
crazy.
is a lie.
That
Oh, that's
like
actually true, though. No shade.
However, Star Wars fans eating right now. Because so right now you can't compare because they're very satiated. They might just got the best piece of Star Wars content ever created recently. So
I only watched the first 3 episodes of the season, so that's when I'm catching up.
What?
I heard it.
When do they stop dropping episodes? I saw 10, 11, 12.
They dropped 3.
Yeah.
It was 4 3-packs. They fed the earth. They dropped off 4, and when I tell you, it's my favorite this season specifically of Andor is my favorite piece of Star Wars content, bar none.
Word?
Bar none.
Season 2 of Andor, tippy top.
They're gonna talk about season 2 of Andor with just shows, not like Star Wars. They're not gonna talk about it with just. They're gonna talk about this season of Star Wars with them shows.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Wait,
I think it's got to do with they don't have they didn't have too much to wiggle room. Like they knew exactly where the end was.
They had a confined, not confined, but they had a space that they had to work within.
Right. And, you know what I'm saying? It goes right up to Rogue One. It goes right up to Rogue One, like the same week.
I really liked Rogue One especially in terms of Star Wars stuff. Like I like the way that they did that film in general, especially because it's like, you know, every story ain't going to be a happy ending at a certain point. It's kind of just how shit go. But
these characters, the goddamn Dedra or whatever.
Actually got her mother together. Got his mother together.
She
got his mother together. Got her together. Real bad.
I got it. You got to finish watching.
Yeah. We can't say too much. I will say though. Yeah. Well, I have a question. You said that Rogue One. Andor season 2 is up there in terms of like seasons of TV or just TV conversation in general. Are there any other like seasons of top tier television? You're like, this, like I will watch this season of the TV show like it's a movie.
3 and 4 of The Wire.
I was gonna say season 3 of The Wire for me. Season 4 because season 4 is the kids.
The kids, yeah.
Season 3,
my favorite.
The kids is amazing, and because there's so many little stories. I personally like season 3 a little more, but the kids season is
season 4 being that season of The Wire is based specifically on when I was in middle school.
Right.
So for me, season 4 as a Baltimorean, specifically as a West Baltimorean, that is the season, bitch. That is the season. The show was over at that season. Like, the show's over. Bye. Everybody have a nice evening.
Yeah.
The show was over after that.
They kind of did what they need to do after season 4.
The girl getting $150 in the classroom. Seen it. Real life. Kid getting turned into a junkie. Seen it. Real life.
Damn. What was that? The Yakami?
Alleys. Seen it. Real life.
Damn.
You know, like that is the moment. Season
1 of True Detective is hard. I've been meaning to go back and watch because there's what episode is it where it's like it's a whole one shot for like 20 minutes. My man just running through the White Project. I don't know that's true. I don't know about the mystical shit in that show, but season 1 of True Detective is hard.
Yeah. The Ironheart trailer I really did like. It was giving Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it is. I want to say Coogler produced. I don't know how much.
Executive produced.
Yeah,
executive produced.
Because he
this show was in the.
They were talking about him doing Wakanda related projects, and like other Marvel stuff. But he also was talking about how he liked the way like animated movies were. I forget the animated movies he mentioned in particular. But when he was talking about the influence on Sinners, but the way his brain thinks about certain things, I like him approaching comic book superhero based.
I think he should be the Kevin Feige for the Wakanda.
I would love that.
Marvel. The Superman trailer looks amazing. Superman, I got a feeling it's going to be a stunner.
It's got to be that movie has to
put
be
too much on it.
I'm
trying not to put too much on it. I'm trying because I know what expectations do to projects. Like it's almost like wrestling. It's like you know how we do. We book and I see this coming, and it should be like this, and then we pull up and it ain't that.
No, but the reason why I think it's going to be a stunner because I have no idea what this movie's about. Because it's so many parts. Like
somebody looked like they died or there was some devastation or something.
it's so many things in this trailer. I have no idea what the hell this story is. But I do have immense faith in James Gunn because he knows how to make multiple characters work inside of a film.
Right.
And I think that he has something to prove. I think that it's specifically after being fired from Marvel, and I think James Gunn is the ghost of Christmas past that keeps haunting Marvel because he has done some great things for DC.
That Suicide Squad film was phenomenal for what it was. Yeah,
it was great. The only issue with that was the HBO Max day and day release killed that film.
I was glad I got to see it in theaters.
Right, that wasn't a referendum on if people would have went to see that film or a referendum on him. That was a referendum on a studio.
Right.
But you know, between this track record with Guardians of the Galaxy and the fact that this Superman film looks comic book accurate and it gives DC a much needed edge and a brighter look because
yes,
so dark looking. Like dark has been their thing.
That was what's his name? Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
his whole thing was dark.
If he can resuscitate DC with this Superman film, if it's possible, then I want to see what he does with a Wonder Woman or, you know, that kind of like, because I just like the way even having Superman have the briefs over the tights is something that, you know, the girls have not done since Christopher Reeve. So I think that is getting in the way. Vaughn, I think that Mr. D, I think that Warner Brothers said we're gonna step away. We're gonna let
they got to
because we've seen what you did for Marvel. And
Peacemaker and all that stuff.
Right. Suicide Squad was great. Peacemaker was great. So it's not like, you know, he doesn't have a track record. I also think James Gunn is the type of creative that he has to actually like what he's doing in order to get it done. If you don't like it, you won't know.
Right.
So the thing about Gunn though is Gunn is more Taika Waititi than he is the what's the name brothers. Like he's more you're gonna get the comedy with it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but even like that last Guardians, like it's either day or night, nigga. You gave us the funniest Marvel projects, and you gave us the saddest goddamn Marvel product. Yeah, like so. I do want to see him just do some straight action. So I'm looking forward to Superman tentatively. The Russos is the
Russo brothers.
Yeah, Russos. Yeah. But back to Ironheart really quick. The only thing I'm worried about with Ironheart is that movie's been in the can for some time. Yeah. And it's before like they've made whatever the pivot is that they've made for the last few films, two films. So we'll see. I think it's going to be edited to death because they're kind of they're gonna make it fit, I guess, in the universe. But they made some changes since they recorded this. I think they're driving it the way they're dropping it with like lack of like fanfare too much. And I mean, we're a month out,
something like
almost,
that.
And we really just got the trailer. And this has been in the can. That's the thing. It's been around for a minute. Yeah. So I guess the thing is they figuring out how it's gonna fit, and I'm assuming this is going in. I don't know how much y'all have seen, but there is a movement toward the Young Avengers eventually. I think there's going to be a few factions.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about Young Avengers ever since the second Captain Marvel was the Marvels, whatever it was called.
That like was so terrible and it was so not.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I went to a screening and I took my son and I'm like, but it was at the end of that film the way she was moving. It felt like she was targeting the next generation of Avengers. So, and in the comics, it's kind of how they were doing, I guess, 10 years ago or so. Especially nobody say I'm going to have to Easter egg this and just support it and root for it because it's black and pray for the best. I mean, yeah. The thing is, at this point in Hollywood, everything is not going to be a Sinners. Everything's not going to be you sit down, you get your popcorn, and you're going to get more than what you paid for in regards to everything that Coogler can give you. But yeah, because there's so few of Sinners or projects that are at the very least led by black actors, let alone with the director. Like when the Denzel, ASAP Rocky, Spike Lee movie come out, you got to buy a ticket. You got it.
Looks like it's going to be amazing.
It looks great, but even because I'm going to say this. They already said that movie's hitting theaters, then 2 weeks later it's hitting Apple TV Plus. But even though it's going to be hitting digital in like 2 weeks, cop the movie ticket. Because you cop the movie ticket, you let the people know, hey, next time Spike Lee got something coming on, next time ASAP Rocky's or something, maybe the people who cop this movie is going to go see this movie. Like, you got to get your ass in the seat.
I mean, AMC is reducing their movie tickets by 50% on Wednesdays. Part of getting people asses in the seats is we have to be mindful of the economy, and people are being very selective of what they're buying. So you have to be mindful of that. I think the public has been very spoiled since the pandemic with the content that they get, and I think that public expectation has been sensationalized to a certain degree.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that they're going to get Infinity War level event on a TV show, and that's just not how this works. Before the pandemic, your ass was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you was happy.
I beg to differ. I don't know if anybody but me and my wife to finish that goddamn show. That show was 7 million episodes.
I didn't start that show.
Million episodes.
I'll tell you, I didn't start that show, and I only watched episodes that were connected to the movies that are about to come out. Because I like when they did that. It was like, oh shit! Before, was it the Age of Ultron? It was like a whole thing on the show, and then it bled into the movie or whatever. It's like, that's cool, but at a certain point, it was like 18 seasons or something like that.
I think we're entering. I think they're tying things up and course correcting, because I think the Mutant Saga is going to be their real relaunch. But
I need that.
Just leave things. I think the Ironheart thing is get released because it probably, out of all of the things that they made that have been shelved, like Wonder Man and stuff like that, this is probably actually good and actually salvageable and actually worth the price of admission. So they said, let's go ahead and move out. I think they have a lot riding on Fantastic Four. I love
July. Is that July as well?
Yes.
Yep.
So July we're going to get fed real good because you got Superman, and then like 2 weeks later you got the First Family. So
it's crazy.
And I can't wait to see how the First Family enters the MCU, because after seeing Thunderbolts, shout out to Florence Pugh, because Yelena Belova to me is the new heart of the MCU.
Mm-hmm. She's great.
To me, she's one of the leaders of the MCU. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that they did themselves a service with having that character. She's the leader of the Thunderbolts.
Of course.
I think this group is, even though what I like about the Thunderbolts film was these are people from movies that people hated.
Mm-hmm. It was a terrible era for a lot of people.
Right. They hated these movies. Like, because if we're being honest, to me, Black Widow was fine. I did not like Black Widow.
But it was just fine.
I may have only seen Black Widow once.
Like,
T. Smitty says Ironheart's a series, not a movie. Just so we're clear.
Right.
Sorry.
But I think that they took all of the characters from these things, like Captain America and Winter Soldier, the TV show. I enjoyed that TV show. They had Adore Milaje on that TV show. I think people, I'm not saying that it was great, like the Eternals. I'm one of the few people that really liked that Eternals movie. I like the way it was shot. I like the way that it felt, but I'm also a history buff, so I like how it stands and the story that it told. Right. I think after it's like you made Thriller with Infinity War and Endgame.
But here's the thing though. Remember what they did though, is they didn't just make Thriller, right? We've never seen 18 movies build up and crescendo. We've never seen that, right? And so microwave culture, they do it. And now niggas like, well, do it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what you've been feeding me at the restaurant. I don't want none of this other stuff you give me. Give me the build up. The problem is they built up with the pop culture icons that Captain America and Iron Man and Spider-Man all were. And now we getting into niggas like the Sentry and niggas like who? So it's harder to pull folks in because I don't know any kids that were I don't know, goddamn Red Guardian fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now the stuff has just got to be good and it kind of has to be dope on its own merit. It can't just pull on my kid like Spider-Man, so he gonna go see Spider-Man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they just happen to do an amazing thing we never saw before at the same time. So it's hard. They got a big mountain to climb. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I am cautiously optimistic. I've liked everything I've seen in the last couple months, and so I'm with it.
And people forget, WandaVision was phasing. People forget, you know, they act like people, the fandom acts like they just gave you nothing, you know, and I just don't think that that's true, you know, and I think a lot of these projects did suffer from quality control. I'll say that some of these projects, I think they spread themselves a little thin, but that was because the studio mandated that because Marvel was such a hit. We want more Marvel stuff. Why? Because the fans want more Marvel stuff. So
in the pandemic, yeah.
But
they were trying to build the streaming service.
Marvel historically only gave you 2 films a year anyway. Now you want them to give you stuff every other month, and then you expect that you're going to, you know, have Infinity War every time, and that's just not how it works. But the good news is with Thunderbolts, they got back to good story. I love how they did Sentry. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they maintain Sentry because his power set is just ridiculous.
They gonna drop Sentry. Watch, Sentry gonna be a thing of the past. Watch.
No, if you, I don't know if we want to get into the end of the movie, but
I don't know who's seen what in the chat, but
it's been almost a month.
It's been about 2 weeks.
As we move on, he's been neutered, so ain't no Sentry right now.
The thing with Sentry, and I mean this is where I was able to be an asset to places I was employed at. Sentry was debuted like out the blue, and it felt like he was debuted out the blue for a particular storyline. Once that storyline was over, not saying Sentry was gone, but like Sentry wasn't walking around like a Thanos or like a Thor. Like sometimes he was I don't think he took on like some of the bigger characters did, so he never became. So it would really be like if Sentry were to be a bigger deal, that would really be Marvel and or the fans being like, we want more Sentry. You know what I'm saying?
I like the Sentry character a lot, and I think the Sentry character, the reason why this film resonated so well with fans, and it only had like a 56% drop second week, which was really good. Is because the Sentry character is the right character for right now where we're at in society. And I think that Sentry will be around. I think the way that they managed his power set is through Yelena. They're using that Hulk Black Widow formula for him and Yelena. And I like it, but for some reason, Yelena and Sentry feel more organic to me. They feel realer than Black.
Is that because we got to get to the show? Is that because you could like actually see them having sex compared to the Hulk and
I think it's how flawed they are. They're super flawed, like real people. Yeah. They're not.
I'm just asking the question.
And the acting ability of those, like you know, Bill Pullman, I think he's somebody's son, and then Florence Pugh is just a force. That's an Oscar waiting to happen.
She's amazing.
When you have that too. Like the part where she read the whole team outside the building, like and she ate that scene up. But all of these people together, it starts with the actors. It starts with a good story, and what they managed to do was they managed to sell the best parts of bad films and put them together in a way where it was a great story, a great cast. David Harbour as Red Guardian cracks me up. Sebastian Stan's character arc has been amazing. When he finally kicks the bucket, that's going to be a sad day. I think that's the death that you save, because that's a death that will resonate with people because he's been in the product for so long. I think the Fantastic
literally over 100 years old
to reset once we get in the Mutant Saga, because after we do Secret Wars, now I'm getting in my comic book bag. Once we get through Secret Wars, what a lot of people, the general public doesn't know, that all the comic book fans know, is that Franklin Richards has the ability to create whole universes and alternate realities.
Talk that shit.
Dr. Doom does his thing. Galactus may follow the Fantastic Four into the MCU. Now you have that, because Galactus is really in after that planet because he sensed the life force of Franklin Richards. And what a lot of people don't know is Franklin Richards, who is the son of Susan Storm and Mr. Fantastic, Galactus became his herald at one point. So Franklin Richards is so powerful that he was managing Galactus. So if you have a Franklin Richards, they age him up once they get into MCU proper, then Franklin Richards can reset, and now we have a mutant saga.
But you talking, that feels 20 years down the road.
Nah, the thing that makes that, oh damn, we're such in a bag, and after this we got to get to the show. The thing that makes that accelerated, fam, is, do you remember what was it, the Marvels? What movie was it where there was the alternate Fantastic Four was Jim from The Office? Was that
Multiverse of Madness?
The multiverse, the Doctor Strange, the second Doctor Strange film. There was that incursion shit where, like, because
that's where we're getting to,
because all the multiversal stuff's been going on, because that's something from the comics as well. That was what the Illuminati with Black Panther was trying to solve, was how do we stop these different Earths from the multiverse coming to get, because once they go to collide, it's only going to be one that survives. And we've seen whole Earths die in the comics, so that all this multiverse play is going to turn into these Earths trying to kill each other. So I think that just like we saw them tap into the X-Men at the end of that was the Marvels film, I think that all of the secret wars of it, the incursions of it, there's going to be a way to have this happen by Doomsday or whenever one of them films coming out in the next year or two.
Franklin's going to age up a little bit.
You got to. Well,
remember, you got Scarlet Witch's son, what's his name? Oh my God, Tommy, and they get ready to go look for his brother. So you got them at the end of Agatha All Along,
right?
Of course, he's going to set up that Young Avengers. It's so many pieces.
Young T'Challa.
You got You got Haley Stanfield still sitting out there from Hawkeye.
New Hawkeye.
Right.
You know, so they definitely
Riri.
Because we gotta get to this mutant saga, because the mutant saga is where the new money comes in.
That's where that chicken is coming in. You're right.
And they casted Nev Campbell quietly as Polaris.
Really?
Yeah. She was actually voice casted for X-Men 97 season 2. Because Bo Mayo, the guy who gave us the masterpiece that is X-Men 97, who they fired because of his OnlyFans, but that's another conversation for another day. He was still and people call him bitter, but I would be bitter too if I made one of Marvel's best animated pieces and they fired my ass, and then now they can't do season 2 right, so now they got to go back and do edits because the story is off, and you don't have it that was killing it.
Damn. All right.
Y'all thought the nerve for real. Y'all thought I was a fashion girl. Okay. Got it.
Like you said, that's a conversation for another day. We got to get to at least a little bit of wrestling. I don't know if Matt's going to pop in at any point. He said he may be late, but I got to get to the show. Where's my intro at? Like, for real. Here we go. Where's my intro at? Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. 1 2 1 2. Welcome back to the Black Rasslin Podcast. If you've been rocking with us for over an hour, not only you know that niggas is nerds and niggas was watching Sabu back before people was trading tapes about Sabu, but clearly God is still working on all of us. As always, it's your boy Cal. I ain't got no title. Literally, all I got right now, and I ain't buy a Funko Pop in a minute. I got this in the mail today as a Funko Pop of Paulie and Christopher Moltisanti from the Pine Barrens episode of Sopranos. What you know about that?
He
They was
killed
cold as
20.
shit.
He killed 20 Czechoslovakians. He's an interior decorator.
An interior deck. His apartment looked like shit. He broke that man remote control and everything. Nah, shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to the chat. Shit, peace y'all. As always, you can see the squad is on the line. DDM. Say what's good to the people, yo.
What's going on? It's DDM, EST, and BRP, and all of that. I know I've been gone for a few weeks, but you know, life has been life, and then I went on the most terrible cruise ever.
That's right. Champ?
Ex-champ.
Damn.
Ex-champ. I demand a recount. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Nah, man. IlFam79 on your social media choice, aka Mr. Get It Out the Mud and then Get It Out the Grease, because I'm gonna get mine, and whatever it is, it's gonna be fire, nigga.
I like that. No, I like that. Mimi, shouts to Mimi. I know Mimi's gonna be in the win. Brother Mav said he's gonna be around. He may be around at some point. I totally. We got to get into some wrestling conversation, but DDM, I've not heard about your time on the cruise. What was the worst part about the cruise? It sounds like there may have been a number of worst parts.
I'm gonna say this: the experience, the cruising idea, and the cruise itself. I love cruising. I would totally do it. I'm never doing it with my family. It's not the cruise. I want to be clear. The cruise itself, the ship, the amenities, the activities were fabulous.
Right.
My family killed that trip for me. I felt like I wasted my money.
It was the first cruise my wife and I went on. We went with a large family party, and we had a good time. But dealing with cruising with like 10, 15, 20 people, because everybody has different ideas of fun.
Yes.
My family just argued with each other the whole time. They antagonized each other. And I was like, why did y'all pay all this money to be miserable?
It ain't cheap. It is not cheap to be on that ship. I tell you.
Were you able to kind of dip off and kind of do your own thing?
I shared a cabin with my grandmother against my better judgment. I'm like, oh, okay, this should be fine. I'll never do that again. We had the balcony joint. I went to the nightclub on the cruise. That was lit. It was this guy that played basketball in Japan. He was big, tall, and like massive, like the mountain on Game of Thrones massive. And I was like, oh my God, I would have to shoot him. I can't do nothing with him. Well, like I'm gonna have to pull out 380. It's no fight.
You take the boy out of West Baltimore.
Yeah. It's no fighting him. I'm not fighting him. I'm not fighting you, sir. You're getting shot. Okay.
He was like, I ain't gonna fight this nigga, man. I got to shoot this nigga shorty.
Right. I'm not fighting you, sir. You're getting a poop. I'm not doing that. The food was good. The slide and stuff was good. We did Carnival. I think I'm gonna do Virgin next. I don't want nothing with no good. Oh, the comedian was trash. The comedian, people walked out on him.
The couple comedy shows I've sat through, like you got to know what to expect, and you got to expect some corny.
I think the problem with cruise comedians is that the audience is so broad.
Yes.
You have to really be one of those people where you can do things that
everybody.
Right. I'm gonna tell you this: the cruise was so bad for me that I hid and watched Backlash.
No, wait. So the first day DDM was on the cruise, I could tell DDM was like, all right, I'm good, because I'm seeing the stories. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I was like, DDM, how's it going? Blah 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 blah. He's like, it was day 2, day 3, and I saw this one picture, DDM taking a selfie. He's like, And I was like, damn, he ain't feeling that shit. And then we're on the chat talking Backlash, and DDM's in the chat watch. I was like, damn, there's no way you on the cruise just sitting there watching the pay-per-view like that. Yeah, it was like that.
I paid for my internet, and I watched Backlash on my phone, and I was talking to y'all. I didn't get the drink package because alcohol gives me headaches.
That shit's expensive too.
Doses. So I bought my drinks a la carte, which ended up being better.
That'll be me. Cause I got a cruise coming up soon, and I've been looking at that drink package damn near more than the room. Yeah, it's $80, $88 a day, something like that. And that just didn't make sense to me. Nope. Number one, who's drinking $88 worth of liquor? I mean, it's $88 all you can drink. Right. But like that's just insane to me. You still got to hit the card, and at a certain point, you're not going to be doing it. And then when you do that amount, what are you doing after that? You know what I'm saying?
And it gives you a headache. And I had 3 Miami Vices. That was the 3 drinks I had the whole trip. Outside of that, I didn't have nothing else.
Were they drinks in the plastic container situation?
An extra $20 for a $2 cup. No.
Yeah, because they're gonna try and catch you walking into the spot and walking out the spot. So you got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's on that ship.
Yeah,
damn.
And the cruise itself, 10 out of 10. The experience, 0 out of 10 because of my family.
You gotta cruise with the right people.
Like a whole sitcom.
Facts, no, or at least a season of a
Margaritaville got a cruise.
Really?
Margaritaville has a cruise. We pulled up at the dock in the Bahamas, and I'm like, look at the Margaritaville ship. And then the internet listened to you and stuff. So I started seeing Margaritaville and Virgin Cruise ads. They got a Margaritaville cruise right now starting at $169 per person.
I was gonna say I can only imagine how much that costs, but because matter of fact, the first time I ever saw a Margaritaville bar was when we got off like one of the stops on the cruise. I was sitting on the beach and I looked up and it happened to be Margarita. They was playing music and it was Margaritaville was a whole but this was 10, 12 years before the Margaritaville got built up in New York City. You know what I mean? Like I didn't realize that it was like that. Margaritaville cruises, do some research first. I'll just say that is what Javon Gatewood says. I guess now's as good a time as any. DDM, how was before asking anything about the PLE, the internet on the cruise ship? Were there any issues with watching a 2+ hour show?
Backlash was all the time.
Damn. I had one of the first times I took a cruise and I tried to work on it and I was trying to pay for it. This was like maybe 10, 15 years ago. The prices were ridiculous. They've done much better as I guess Wi-Fi and everything's come down. But I get a lot of people did not like Starlink is what's on the cruises now. That may be the issue too. It's upgraded. A lot of people did not like this Backlash show. DDM, what were your thoughts on Backlash?
I thought the opening match was fantastic. LA delivers.
Yeah, when they said that US title match was open, I knew it was going to be at least at the very least the start of a good show.
Yeah, I thought the opening match was fantastic. Dominic and Penta was great, and I know that people, it wasn't a 5-star wrestling match, but I think the Gunther and Pat McAfee situation was very entertaining. I was sports entertained.
But by that match, or just the match in general, I should say.
The whole story. It told a story. I was entertained by the story.
Is it weird that the story, like I guess the thing that confused me, and I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't want to bring it up. We talked about it when Gunther attacked Michael Cole and then, tried to choke out Pat McAfee because Michael Cole made it a whole thing towards the end of that Raw. How am I supposed to do my job when these wrestlers are coming out, and I say anything, they want to start trying to mess with me. And Pat McAfee's like, boom, I'm a wrestle dude in the ring, and I'm a secure your honor, all that shit. And then like it's not like the ferocious wrestler is taking on he was a football player, but like the former football player who's a sportscaster. It felt kicker. It felt way more even than I thought it would. And I only say that because Gunther was beating his ass. And at the end of the match, he gets up. Monday Night Raw, they delay the Pat McAfee return so he can get the big pop. He can be standing up on the table and doing all this shit. Like, he's just back. Like, and at a certain point, Gunther's like, hey, Jey Uso, whenever you fight the YouTuber, I'm gonna fight you. What was the point of that Pat McAfee situation?
I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't care. I know that I was sports entertained.
You were sports entertained.
I like Gunther has his bite back and he's like menacing.
He looks he does look ferocious. I will say that.
He has to now have opponents. So now the only issue now with Gunther is giving him the right opponents to do what needs to be done.
Nah, are you saying that Pat McAfee should have been written off TV?
Should have beat that. He should not. Listen, Gunther is who he was at his pinnacle. This nigga Pat McAfee, the kicker, would have been off TV for several weeks at least. He would have dug a grave. They'd had to find a hole. He would have killed Michael Cole. He'd have killed Michael Cole. Might have been for real. They have still yet to rehab Gunther back to anywhere near where he was. Gunther was him.
He was that guy.
Intercontinental run. When he got the Supercontinental belt, babe, that was the falling action. That nigga's going downhill ever since. They're trying to pull a plane up, but beating up a kicker and an announcer, my nigga. Listen, I didn't like this pay-per-view. I didn't like anything on it. I try to find I'm one of them now. I try to find the bright light in almost anything.
Fam's that nigga. No disrespect, but Fam's that nigga. Yes.
I didn't like anything. I sat and watched it.
What did I like from the show?
You ever have dinner
and it like the opening match at all?
No,
I like Jacob Fatu.
It was clunky. Like they didn't have chemistry in that match.
Wait, you know what I did like?
And that's what happens when you get a bunch of folks. Like 4 niggas, 1 or 2, it would have probably been fine. But when you get 4 niggas, there's gonna be lack of chemistry in parts. And I know that first match is supposed to really shoot the whole pay-per-view off, but it just didn't.
But I
didn't like anything on this show. I promise you. I wish I did.
You know
I wish I did.
That first match, it brought Jeff Cobb out. That's honestly that's the most newsworthy thing from the whole show was Jeff Cobb, who we talk about it was like the last week or two. He left New Japan. He had a whole title, I believe, and he dropped it. He was online talking about touring the world and doing all types of stuff, trying to fake people out. Showed up with Solo Sikoa.
This is the first Bloodline reach.
Yeah,
this is the first Bloodline reach.
Hey, I mean, Bronson Reed and him probably could be a tag team, like some Bloodline adjacent cats.
That would be hard.
That would be nice.
That was my first thought.
The unnatural disasters.
The unnatural disasters, exactly.
Jeff Cobb is definitely giving husband material. I was here for him.
He's a well, it's funny. I mean, I remember when because I feel it may have been 3 weeks when news first hit of him backing out of his New Japan contract. A lot of Mimi was like, "Who's that?" So I'm trying to send links or whatever. But when after he debuted and just took out a bunch of cats in that first match on Backlash, cats like, "Who's that?" And you were seeing the clips of him under the mask in Lucha Underground. I mean, he's been to ROH. He's been to he was part of Will Ospreay's United Empire when he was part of New Japan. Like he's been around for a minute. It's kind of long awaited that he's going to WWE now.
Yeah, he auditioned for them and they ain't like him. They was like, go home. But
right.
If Vince was still around, so Vince would have never picked him with that body.
I don't. Who was that? Who was that? Said the two Tongas were in the league. Are you talking about Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa?
So no, they aren't a bloodline reach because
they have actual relations, right?
No. Well, what's his name's pops was partners with Haku. They father. So it was like brothers. It's like the beginning of the chart, right? It's high five brothers. We ain't brothers, but that's my man. So now
there's a whole
Haku,
association there.
Yeah, and the Tonga kid being brothers, Jacob father. I don't think that's a reach. This nigga ain't. He's Filipino, right?
Let me check.
Jeff Cobb is He's not for no goddamn.
I don't know what his official Yamin is. He is amateur wrestler. Where's his personal life? Cobb is of Filipino descent on his mother's side. His mother, Elaine, was born in Guam to Filipino immigrants. His Cobb's parents later moved to Kauai, where he was born, but moved back to Guam when he was 11. Doesn't mention anything about his father. I don't know what his father's parentage is, but hey, he again, when he's standing next to Solo Sikoa with that black tee on, when he's standing next to Bronson Reed at some point as an unnatural disaster, he gonna be his bloodline as he need to be. He gonna be his bloodline as Triple H need him to be.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a wrestling like I don't like stuff right now. Maybe I don't know. I just don't. You know, that show specifically, I just like.
Actually, you know what's funny, and this is not in the order that I thought we would have this conversation in, but offline, I was in Walmart and Brother Fam sent a video to the BRP offline chat, and he was like, "Are we talking about Will Ospreay this week?" and mind you, I hadn't heard that Will Ospreay said anything new, right? Oh, shout right on time, number 9. Right on time, number 9. Shout out to my brother. Hold on, you got it. There you go. Shout out, number 9. Shout out. Will Ospreay. I was like, I didn't hear
drinking out of a cup. I'm sure. I hope somebody spit in.
I said I hadn't heard anything. I said Brother Fan was like, did we talk about Will Ospreay last week? I was like, I know we did because I know I made a video about it, but I don't remember how in depth we got into the conversation. I hadn't realized that Will Ospreay had said, I guess I should say this. He was on a podcast and he was asked about WWE purposely booking shows.
Can I take that off the screen? I don't want that there.
AEW's biggest events. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second. You late. Honestly, you late. We'll talk about in the flow. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get back to that.
Stop it, Steve.
Only because on Sunday, NXT Battleground is booked as AEW Double or Nothing. They're happening the same day. I don't know if they're the same time, but so they asked Will Ospreay, how you feel about WWE booking against your shows, and Ospreay said that the fans tune into them regardless. He said, we smoke them in every field of wrestling, is what he said. We're just better. He said, I respect them. I respect every single one of them there. They're all vets. They all know what they're doing, but we're so much more of a better wrestling company than them. Our guys smoke them every single day of the week. I respect them all, but on our worst day, we smoke all of you guys. Now, the question that Brother Fam asked, which is really the heart of this, is are WWE and AEW doing the same thing? I guess, especially in regards to saying that one company is smoking the other company in the game. Because the question would be, what are the Sean Tragedy said they ain't lying, and I think Brother Fam, said, they're dope at what they do, but I guess the question is it comparative? Are we playing on the same field to know that AEW is legit smoking WWE? And I'm not asking that on some tribalism shit. I want to know.
So the quote last week from the other interview where things got messy and niggas was focused on one part of it, but the one thing Will Ospreay said was, "I'm a better wrestler than anybody over across the street." Talking about WWE, of course. And I don't know if that was a lie.
I don't know if I agree with it, but I hear you.
No, it's not necessarily a lie, but that don't make it true.
So I think everything kind of goes back to, and this was a really, really good argument that DDM and I had offline one night, right?
He sleep.
Was in the zone.
Mind your business and stay on task, please.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Nigga ain't been to work in 4 weeks.
That was funny.
Continue, please.
But me and DDM had a really good discussion one night about what these companies do. There are different things these companies do, and certain things that each company does works better for certain people. My for instances are clearly CM Punk shines more in WWE. Clearly Ricochet shines more in AEW. I think it's just certain things, like certain teams, certain pieces fit in certain things. And because the fans that they both serve want different stuff, they have different appetites, right? We started the show talking about the OG internet niggas. And those niggas, the OG internet niggas.
Who? You and Cal?
Nigga.
Me.
Nigga, you and Daryl, nigga. But,
shout out Daryl. Peace to Daryl.
Right?
Peace to Daryl.
Because if you go back to the show, I actually talked about y'all niggas at the beginning of the show. It's like y'all niggas is the first niggas on it and was looking in the goddamn the chat rooms and we know it was problematic, but to shoot interviews early and all that. But like those niggas, the niggas that kind of stuck to that path, them niggas are the loud minority that prefers flippy no-sell wrestling. Right? And flippy no-sell wrestling sounds like a diss, but I think flippy no-sell wrestling heavily serves a particular audience, right? And to those niggas, there isn't a better wrestler on the planet than Will Ospreay. There isn't. He serves those niggas better for what they want than anyone. So when we talk about wrestling, yes, it's one thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all wrestling fans, yada, yada. But there is a divide on what the product, quote unquote, should be. And if that's a truth, then the best at one thing is the best at that thing. And then on the other side of the road, whoever's the best, you know what I'm saying? Because Roman Reigns is the best wrestler in the world to some people.
To some people.
That's just me.
Is there, but like, is out of the wrestlers on, damn, I don't want to get too in depth. We've got some other stuff to talk about. Out of the wrestlers on the AEW roster and the wrestlers on the WWE roster, Will Ospreay is number one.
To the flippy no sell crowd, yes.
No, I'm saying in like we're not the flippy no sell, and I'm not saying we're on the total other side, but like, where does Will Ospreay sit if you take both rosters? You were trying to rank them best wrestlers, one to whatever.
See, I would say no one has consistently has as high level matches. If you're just talking to matches.
If you're just talking to matches, I agree.
I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I like Pac.
He's great. He's great.
I think that they are, you know what I mean? Like, it's not too much. There's not a lot separating the two, other than one gets the opportunity and another one is sometimes injured.
Well,
You know
well, let me ask a question then, because you mentioned somebody on AEW who, and not trying to be funny, but Pac is kind of sometimey because he will be in AEW and he'll be home. What about? Shout out Vin. Peace of the Bulls. What about like who would be comparative to
wrestling
to Will Ospreay on the WWE roster?
like in wrestling.
If Will Ospreay's number one, who's closest to him on the WWE roster? I'm not saying number two, but who's closest to him?
Everybody's gonna say Seth Rollins.
So my question is, are we going based off of 5-star, 6-star match quality? Are we going off of
type of wrestling?
It's a compartment of wrestling. It's not complete.
Yeah. The thing to me is, I feel like Seth Rollins can do what Will Ospreay does.
I think Seth Rollins on the WWE roster. I feel like Seth Rollins is probably.
I don't know if he still could do it.
No, obviously not anymore because of his body. But I don't know if Will Ospreay can do what Seth Rollins does.
No, he can't.
He can't.
He cannot. I know he can't.
Who on the AEW roster is going to be who's going to be coming at him with a spear? Pause. That he can then be turning into a pedigree. Like there's certain things that Seth Rollins.
Rhino was on that last week.
Rhino was on there last week. Well, Rhino is not going to be wrestling a Will Ospreay for anybody's AEW World Title. I think the thing is, there's certain things because of WWE, and this is kind of where you get into the conversations of what separates one company from another. Like Seth Rollins has to be prepared for altering moves because of a person the size of a Roman Reigns or a Bronson Reed or whatever, where Will Ospreay, and I'm not saying it's disrespect, but like he's fighting a lot, like there's not a lot of variation in terms of like size of wrestlers, so a lot of his matches end up being a lot of like people that can keep up the pace with him. Like he's not wrestling a lot of Bronson Reeds. He's not wrestling a lot of Roman Reigns. They're not people that are on that roster like that.
You ever watch figure skating?
Watch figure skating?
Yeah,
of course. I watch the Olympics and all that.
It's specific sizes that go with specific sizes.
Right. You got to be in divisions, yeah.
So they do specific shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's ballet, figure skating, the way that they, you know what I mean?
I think the correct answer to the correct alter the statement that Will Ospreay made, he maybe should have said he's the best wrestler in his weight class. And for what he does, I don't know. The thing is this: Will Ospreay, you may be a great wrestler, but you ain't a star to me. And at the end of the day, that's nice that you can do all of that. And for what's presented on television by both companies, you may be right, Will Ospreay. As far as what's presented on television, you may be the better wrestler out of both companies. That may be true. But Will Ospreay, you're a snooze. And at the end of the day, your matches may be great, but Dominic Mysterio said something, and I had to agree with him. And he said, if I do hurricanranas and all those high fly moves all the time, what makes it special to the audience? You do this all the time, Will Ospreay, and that's nice. I love it. It's great. And for the people who love that, that is great. But for what AEW is trying to position you as,
actually, go ahead.
No, go.
So no. My point was just if AEW has positioned him as the best flippy no-sell nigga on earth, he's in the top 3. He's not number 3. He's not number 2. He is the best flippy no-sell nigga now. But it's all in being comfortable with saying, I like steak. so I'm gonna go to a steakhouse. I like
thought you said
Chinese.
stank. I thought you said stink. I was ready to say, oh, this the
Hey,
show.
hey, that's the Blafties.
I don't know. I mean, I get that, but like,
Right, know what that thing is like.
Butterscotch.
statement implies that he's like the supreme.
Mhm.
And for me, as a fan, when you imply that you're the supreme, that means that you're going to be supreme in all things, from not only your wrestling, but your presentation, your mic work. See, when you make statements like that, hold on, Ahmed.
No, I was gonna let you land. I was gonna let you land.
When you make statements like that, you have to be prepared for the rebuttal. And then you're going to come across people like me who are going to say, wait a minute now. This is cute what you do. And I don't discount what you do at all. But that is not the total sum of all parts. Okay? You saying you're the guy. I had to agree with Dave Meltzer on this.
Who?
No, you're not. You don't look like a star.
He says you don't dress like a superstar.
But I'm sorry. I never agree with Dave Meltzer.
Who?
But I had to agree with Dave Meltzer.
Who?
Right. You can what chant me all you want. Dave was right. Even a broke clock is right 2 times a day.
12
Hey,
o'clock. 12
Dad,
o'clock.
I
12
want
o'clock.
to say this though, Dad. I think that it's his presentation is solely on the shoulders of AEW. Because when I used to see him, and Cuz said this the other day, when I used to see Son and New Japan,
Yeah.
it looked amazing.
Yeah.
It
Big
looked
coats.
amazing.
With the fur and the yada me.
I don't know what it is. It's the same with Okada. Pardon me, Sean Tragedy. I know you like. It's the same with Okada. These motherfuckers are superstars or were superstars. Omega, the same thing. When you saw it, you knew that you were in for some shit because it looked spectacular. And then the shit in the ring matched the entrance. They looked amazing. I don't know if it's their presentation with AEW. I don't know if that's what they're going for. I think that obviously we know this is the wrestling company. I think that they're just focusing on that instead of the glitz and the glamour, because we've seen these niggas, and the reason why we started following them because they were stars.
Right.
Now, if you look over the last, I would say
Smitty, my bad, cuz.
over the last, let's say 3 months, right? Over the last 3 months, in y'all opinion, and I'm not trying to push any specific answers, but who would y'all say is the best pro wrestler bell to bell over the last 3 months? Like Mania season, the stuff, wrestling.
Like in ring only.
Penna.
You would
Or
say
Dominant Mysterio. No, Penna.
I like Penna as an answer.
Penna.
In ring only.
Penna.
My answer is Kevin Knight. Consistently, we've seen the best matches in everything. I mean, not WWE,
but
course.
he's been with some comp.
And he hasn't been overshadowed. He ain't making mistakes. These goddamn matches are, his part of these matches are 10, and he's working with all types of niggas. And he's over there. And I think it's the perfect place for him. Reason why is that is his, that he's in his lane. If they put Kevin Knight in WWE, he'd be at NXT in promo class, and he may never get out.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
My point of all of this isn't who's better, is that these companies don't do the same thing.
And that's fine. But the issue becomes, Will Ospreay, when you run your
When he
mouth,
run his mouth. Yeah.
and when you talk, because you're doing what your CEO does, when you run your mouth, you open yourself up to critiques and holes. And so when you say you are the best, when you start saying things like of that company and all of this, and you're in the ring and some ran over New Balances and a dirty white tee.
Wait.
And you're
Why they gotta be ran over?
Attack.
You know,
I was going to the store.
Today, let's talk about Miss Toni Storm. Toni Storm is giving you a character, presentation, and wrestling skill. She's giving you a 360, and she is on TV every week. So what's your excuse?
Is she does the thing, that company wants, and extra. But if the matches weren't good, timeless Toni Storm wouldn't matter to that company. But she's having some of the best women matches. What I'm saying is, yes, I'm not saying those people don't like those things, but they don't value those things as much if it doesn't come in a wrestling package.
And here's the thing, and I understand that, but Toni Storm is a sterling example. Will Ospreay, okay,
an outlier,
a different haircut, okay.
What's his name?
Look corny, okay. You can wrestle your ass off. Nobody is disputing that. But when you start poking the bear and start saying that you're this and that, then you better be this and that in a 360 capacity. Because now you're now placing yourself in the same arena as the people over there. So
I disagree with that. I don't think he's doing that. And the reason why
you didn't have to mention him at all. Because
but he doesn't lead with WWE niggas. They ask him about it. He doesn't lead with that.
They ask him about the pay-per-views, but
this is where media training comes in that you don't get. You know how you could have curved that question? Well, what we do over here.
You mean like how the Crash Out did last week?
I mean, yeah.
Ricochet is killing himself online. You know how he could have answered that question? Will Ospreay? Well, you know, I respect what WWE does. I think what we have two different visions, and I think for what I do for the vision of AEW works for us, and it serves our audience in the way that they desire and that they like. You see how I just said that off the top of my head, and I'm not even in the media for wrestling.
That's bars. You
okay,
barred up.
I'm not even in the media. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not on TV but it's a way. That's basic corporate working a 9-to-5 in customer service skills.
But that is an answer for someone who's trying to stay out of the headlines. But
you're in the headlines and you're opening yourself up to scrutiny, and then you get mad when you get the scrutiny and people tell you dusty.
I think that's just you. I think you the one just said he's dusty. I don't think nobody.
You know, the chat would agree.
Don't put it on. Sean Tragedy.
Dusty.
Sean Tragedy don't agree.
Will Ospreay is fire, yo.
Yes. Nobody said it. He wasn't.
No. I'm not disputing.
You just said he was dusty.
Looking.
Hey, Will Ospreay, when you watch this, when they tell y'all not to fuck with us, we love it.
Will Ospreay. I can't wait to see the match. The thing is, Will Ospreay just looked like he came off the plane. Is all it is. He's not trying to do nothing but be in the tracksuit. That's what he wear. And I think that's when we talk about, because I think, fam, you hit the nail on the head talking about they're not doing the same thing. Where WWE, it's so much about what is your character and how are you representing that character, whether you're walking to the stadium to put your bag in the room, you're walking to the ring, you're online. Like, there's so many, they play it up so much where Will Ospreay shit is, my name is Will Ospreay, I like to wrestle, I'm going to have a promo with you at some point, and then we're going to go to the pay-per-view in a couple of weeks and have a fucking banger, whether it's the first match or the last match. Like, they don't do, and this is the thing, and this is why I hate when people, and I'm in a year, I'm trying to change this around. I hate when people are like, yo, BRP, don't talk about AEW right now. Because it's not that I hate AEW. I'm not watching AEW the way I'm watching WWE. WWE, there's so much story and there's so much going on there where I get wrapped up in that. And then you watch the match, and the match is going to progress you to the next part of the story. AEW, I'm looking for Ricochet trying to do a figure 4 with a nigga that got one leg.
Now you saying ratings aren't everything, and I feel you, Cal. We want to
see.
Now ratings gotta be something, because Will Ospreay out here saying foolishness out of his mouth to get y'all to buy tickets to that stadium in Texas that nobody's going to.
But
so,
that's where I'm sorry, Matt. I'm gonna get
no.
But that's where lines get crossed, right? Because what AEW's doing, and then trying to be on some rating shit, like it's not going to be the same. Like they're putting on the wrestling show for the fans that fuck with wrestling. That's not going to turn into
it's wild niche. It's wild niche.
50,000 people in an American stadium watching America. They're watching AEW wrestling. Like they're going for the Japanese wrestling, the Mina Shirakawas, the Toni. Like there's certain things that are attractions for them that are not spectacle like WWE. That's why I don't view the one like the other. What were you going to say, Matt? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Nothing.
Well, no,
okay.
I agree with you, Cal. I think that's the thing. I think you can be niche, but what happens is you stay niche and stay you. But when you go and you poke the bear, because see, here's the thing. You need to be giving your pay-per-views away for $5.99 on Peacock.
Oh, yeah. They said $50-$60. Them
because
AEW pay-per-views is pricey.
Your exposure. You need you need to bring people in, okay? Because even NXT, CW executives just put their interview release statement saying that NXT has changed the game for them.
It's a game changer.
And that's their developmental show.
Yeah.
So I think AEW, instead of keep poking the bear, get people interested in the product again. Do specials on your pay-per-view. Nobody's paying $50 for a pay-per-view in 2025. Okay? This is not a Tyson fight. Okay?
Oh, I hope it's not a Tyson fight.
Nobody's not a Tyson fight. You need to get people, okay, you're not worried about ratings. Well, the gas and electric company that's following the lights in them arenas is the arenas want their money, and I know HBO Max want their money. So somebody's going to be worried about something.
Shout out to them being called HBO Max again. I think that's the thing, right? I can't, and this is why I have to look at them as two different products, because WWE is so much fucking Morgan and Morgan sponsorships, and there's so much going on in the WWE universe that, I mean, AEW has to play on a certain level because they're both wrestling TV shows vying for hours and eyeballs and engagement, all that stuff. But it's a different product,
right? And to Vince's statement, he said, "Why does Twitter never dissect TNA's ratings and pay-per-view buys, but they have 1/10 the ratings of AEW?" Here's why. Even before TNA got in bed with WWE, you never seen their CEO and their people constantly comparing themselves and poking the bear at WWE. At least I didn't. So nobody's gonna, when AEW said we the new guy, we the big boy, we doing stadium shows, we going overseas, we got the t-shirts, we doing reality shows, we doing all the things that they do. Well,
actually, what did they say at first though? What they say at first?
They said
the
alternative. What they said, it's about what they did. They did things that made you compare them to WWE.
They did things that make you compare them. This is the thing,
because obviously they have to toilet because hundreds of thousands of people were doing the same thing.
That's fine, but we have to be honest here.
To a 5,000 seater.
But we just have to be honest about is and the abstract. The is in ring, their products are two very different things. And AEW's product is what they said it was. They not lying. That's the thing. It's all, listen, all this expectation, and they did this like this, and they said we're the wrestling company. They put on the wrestling matches. Everything else is left to everybody else's. Well, what should we do?
If you were that, then tell your CEO to shut the hell up. Tell your wrestlers to stop bringing up the company that you are not in competition with. Why are we bringing them up? Because I don't see WWE superstars constantly bringing up AEW.
So this leads to something I shouldn't. I don't know if I should say it because there's an answer. Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but I will say this. There are not a whole lot of restrictions on what people AEW can talk to, as well as the things that they can ask and be asked back. So I believe, yes, if AEW is going to do a lot of different content where they're going to be letting the questions fly, and other places, it isn't the same. So yeah, when you go in and you're like, ask me anything, you're going to have to answer some questions that's going to end up spicy. You know what I'm saying?
That's what happened with Will Ospreay. The question literally started with, what do you think about WWE doing their pay-per-views this time at AEW? And it's NXT pay-per-views.
And you call for debate. And here's the thing. Since you wanna constantly talk about WWE, Tony, and this is for Tony Khan, nice man.
When was the last time he did that, by the
way? He does it enough. It doesn't matter. If you want to do that, then invest in developmental for your people. Invest in media training for your people. Invest in styling for your people. Those are the things that you should be investing in if you're going to say that we're this, that, and the third. The wrestling, you're going to do that. But if you want to do, if you're the wrestling show, then stick to being the wrestling show.
Because I was going to say,
what you gonna say?
When you the new kid on the block, leave the niggas that's been on the block alone, right? That's when they launched. It was we the alternative, but they was throwing their shots. I respect.
But you outside though, like you outside.
They were throwing their shots. I respect it. So I understand what Dap is saying. But I mean, I don't really see Tony. I don't really see Tony Khan talking about him anymore. Sometimes some of his talent gets caught up in the mix, like this Will Ospreay thing. I don't see a lot of them going out there like that. You got Main Man saying some shit, and then you got Will Ospreay saying some shit.
Yes, Special Noodles. How about that? How about that, Special Little Noodles? How about that?
I'm gonna ask Depp if AEW's owner was more like Paul Heyman was with ECW, would you have a problem with when talent starts to speak outside of themselves? Huh?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Like Paul Heyman had a certain kind of swagger to him that made you like, you know what? Yeah, I fuck with this.
Paul Heyman wasn't a whiner.
This is why I said if AEW's owner was more like Paul Heyman, would you have a problem when they talk spicy in the media?
Paul Heyman was a gladiator. And to answer your question directly, I probably wouldn't, because Paul Heyman didn't whine in defeat. He wasn't whining. He was like, we're going to bring it to you. My issue with Tony Khan is he whines. It's giving, they tried to punch my down, and oh my God, and
So the problem here, DDM, with your argument is just it's not current.
It's my opinion.
No. I'm not arguing with what your opinion is. Your opinion is just 2-3 years old. That's the problem. It's like we sat in And we sat in a press conference where there were some folks that tried to bring up WWE, as you say, and the questions were answered, but it was a turn to it. It was I ain't talking about it like that. Like he isn't. You are arguing a 2025 argument with 2022 Tony Khan. He doesn't do that anymore. So then when he doesn't do what you're saying he isn't doing, what's the problem?
Hold my beer.
We got it.
What,
Are you listening to him say it again? Or
he reading the transcript. Yeah, I don't know what the end result's going to be because Sunday. It's an NXT pay-per-view and it's an AEW pay-per-view. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
And the playoffs on?
Memorial Day weekend Sunday.
The playoffs is on?
Is the games on Sunday?
I stopped watching playoffs when they started cheating for the Knicks.
How did that nigga was bleeding?
5 months ago, AEW Full Gear presser.
That where we was at.
Tony Khan on WWE ID conventions, Kenny Omega, Ricky Starks, and more. This was 5 months ago.
And what did he say? Now, I don't know if we can play that audio, brother.
Right. We
trying to get us shut down.
Right. And so I'm not going to play the audio, but that was 5 months ago.
Hey, Dad.
Well, we were there.
Right.
We were there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dad. How you use Tony Khan need to get some basically say Tony Khan need to start training his talent and then slander Jay Cargill when I use that same argument.
Oh man.
So we can have this argument too. If you want to argue tonight, we can do that. Let's do it. Why not? Let's do it.
I don't.
Say it again. No, you did because you brought it up.
No, I don't.
You messed me. You messed me,
I
fam.
do.
I get it. You messed me.
He's not been around for a minute yet. Talk your talk.
I get it.
I did miss you.
Okay.
That's legit.
So
I
what
did
was you
miss you.
saying about Ahmed Johnson again?
They kissed and made up.
Shout out Ron Simmons and Ahmed Johnson allowed me to wear my Ahmed Johnson shirt because they pieced it up in the one shot. The brother's gonna work it out.
You a piece of shit.
Me?
No hell.
About Jay Cargill?
Oh, that's the word on the street is that's the Evolution 2 match.
Wait.
Oh, that gonna be hurting.
That's word on the street.
You done missed too many shows. It's
Evolution
been too quiet
2.
around here.
Evolution 2, that's happening for real?
That's what they say. That the word Atlanta, right?
I've heard 2 different dates in July and nothing confirmed.
There
was a Fanatics thing that
went
went out. Yeah, there was a Fanatics thing that went out that was around a certain date in July. I think it was July 12th or something like that in Atlanta. I don't know what's going on, but the other thing was there was a whole question about WWE is doing these a 5-match or 6-match pay-per-view. They're talking about Evolution being like 8 to 10 matches at some point because there's so many women on the roster that you could put on the show at some point, but there's nothing confirmed, right?
I think it's going to happen. It's a shame that Bianca may miss it. I think that's going to be a huge shame.
Oh, because she got that championship ring inside her finger.
Yeah, because of the injury.
The fingers.
I hope my good sister's healing. But here's the thing: if they do have a Charlotte versus Jay Cargill match, because Charlotte is under 5 right now, she got some real go away heat, and I have to acknowledge that. Do I think it's fair? No. But Charlotte will definitely be doing the heavy lifting in this matchup if it should happen.
He's not getting no response.
Why? It's the same night of y'all in. I mean, hey, that's what Will Ospreay was talking about. But this would definitely be a match in the near future. How soon is this match happening?
If it happened at Evolution, I think that's too soon. I think Jay still has some way to go. I think Evolution, with the talent that they have on the women's roster for NXT and main roster, I think that would be a pick. I would fly out for that one. I would find for that one.
You could do all right. So there's the WWE Women's World Title, the WWE Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Tag Titles, as well as the IC and the US titles. That's 6 matches right there.
Yeah.
You could probably put at least 2 legends, a battle royal. You could probably do 10 matches if you really wanted to, like a couple of non-title feud matches or something like that. You could do a robust card there based off of titles alone. Even if you wanted to put on the exit again, the conversation when y'all was talking about developmental and all that stuff had me thinking about LFG. There's a number of bring Tyra May Steele.
Yeah,
the real deal, Tyra May Steele. Patreon.com/Black Rasslin. We've been watching. I'm sorry. What'd you say, brother man?
I don't know. She ready for that kind of those
dark match.
Well, yeah.
Battle Royal.
Yeah.
You know, she ain't got to have a whole singles match or anything like that. But wait, Sean Tragedy. What's unfair to the women when you say that? What you mean, or what are you referring to? I'm sorry.
That's her. G.
Who is that girl on Evolve? Who?
I haven't seen Evolve.
Yeah, I've not. Kylie Ray.
That's Rosenberg and I'm sure.
Yeah, Rosenberg and Yamin.
AAA women and TNA women.
There's probably
Cal use Yamin like Philly niggas use John.
Nah, for real. Yamin is anything and everything. Yamin used to have one specific definition at this point. I don't remember nothing. Callie Armstrong.
Cal was using it before. Cal was using it before Main Man too.
Who?
Yaramin.
Yeah, because that's Bay Area. Yaramin.
Yeah,
that's some Bay shit. Yeah, shout out to Ben Cruz. Peace to the homie. Gosh, what else is
WWE has a great women's division. I think that tag team match with Julia and Roxanne versus Rhea and Io was great. Julia,
Raw. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Julia is Julia is my baby mother. No shade. It's just I just like that lady.
Julia needed the right platform.
Yeah, I'm glad she a heel now.
Yeah. And she was supposed to be a heel from the rip.
Like should have been heel from the rip. Yeah.
That when she was walking through the market in Philly and she had the fur on, I said, yeah. Dap said, oh, that's that bitch. And I said, yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. She's supposed to be a heel. Straight up.
But she was injured. They were like stopping with her debut, I think. And by the time they had her working as a face.
Put her in the fur, son. Put her in the fur. Let her do that.
Give her a Will Ospreay old clothes.
Yeah, not the tracksuits, but just the fur.
Yeah, no, that's the new clothes. That's the new clothes.
I think she definitely is a great heel, and I think that I like her as a heel. I like her and Roxanne together. Oddly enough, I like how they feel together.
I don't like
that. Would be a rap though.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one worried about them seeing Roxy as a great hand.
That's what it's starting to look like.
That's the Bailey syndrome, right?
It's what it fit the same thing, cuz.
Yeah. It's because Bailey's in that situation right now where everybody knows that if you put Bailey in the story, she could go. But because Bailey's not the flavor of the month, which is what we've been talking about this entire time. Like if they don't feel like it's your time to be on that Saturday Night's Main Event, on that and Netflix, on that USA Network, you're gonna be chilling right now. And it's we were having this conversation offline because I think, and I don't know who I took these words from, but at a certain point, Bailey is so nice, and it's so like, hey, this is what you want me to do? Bet I got you.
Nigga need a shooter. her
she ain't shooting for herself. She needs somebody. She needs a Heyman. She needs somebody to step up and be like, "Hey, you're missing out on one of the premier talents." While they can still go before they get to that situation where they need to be educating the next chapter, like because a lot of people thought that Bayley versus Roxy was next up, and then they cooled that off. And then it turned into Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and then they cooled that off because Becky Lynch was coming back with this story. Like Bayley's really and the story last year, Bayley won that title last year, and then that shit was dead. I hate to say it, but it wasn't popping.
I still think they see what it is with Roxy. I think they see what it is, seeing the way that they kept her down in NXT.
She been chilling for a bit, yeah.
She gonna be all right. They kept her down there because they needed somebody to carry the motherfucker. While all the talent, there was no talent there. Do remember
that? You know what? I forgot about that that recipe. Because we haven't seen it in a bit. Have we seen it since Cody? Who's the someone who went away and became a bigger whatever they were there and came back? Has anyone done it since Cody?
I think it was Drew. Drew was the example before Cody was the example.
Correct.
So yeah, I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's been somebody significant. He was the biggest AEW to WWE transition, since this whole thing's been going on. So I don't think anybody's happened since then. But no, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because there are a great deal of really high level women talent under the whole total WWE umbrella, right? But that starts looking like the same problem we see with a bunch of folks is that everybody can't be them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be him. Even the niggas that they call him can't be him.
Sean Tragedy said go to AEW, Bayley.
No.
But I will tell you that Bayley will look more like a star to upper management if she's standing next to Sasha Banks. But that's a whole nother conversation.
She would never be on TV.
I think Toni Storm could come back to WWE and be a big deal.
She would be to the moon. To the god, she'd bump everybody.
She would have to get there before Mariah May.
Facts. Once Mariah May goes over there.
Yeah, but no one cares. Nobody would care.
I don't know if Mariah May is a nice look and everything, but they got Tiffany Stratton. I don't know if Mariah, I get what you're saying, Cal, and not Cal Math. I get what you're saying. And WWE has the ability to make somebody a thing when they want them to be.
And she want to be the thing.
But Toni Storm, the character work that she's done, the wrestling matches that she's done, she has made herself so much more than just another blonde girl. She's made herself an anomaly. And like I keep saying, that timeless Toni Storm gimmick in WWE
would be phenomenal.
Would be amazing. The WrestleMania entrance now.
Is Toni Storm the superstar that Will Ospreay thinks he is?
Absolutely.
Because for me, I don't care about Death Riders. I don't care about a lot. Toni Storm had a 4-woman eliminator match that was not only set up her match for a Double or Nothing next week, but also set it continued whole storylines that's also going to be on. Like, Toni Storm is dope, and she's been dope for a minute. Mm-hmm. It's hard to think of somebody who's been, to me, a better character, better star over there in the last year.
Will forever be timeless. Yes, man.
Maybe a year and a half, because Mariah May started last January 2024.
Yeah.
And that was the storyline last year.
Mariah May is a good promo. I watched with the few times when I was flipping the channels. I needed something to watch because I was bored.
She's not a Rhea Ripley wrestler. She's not a Charlotte Flair. She's good, and she was in Japan, so she knows how to. And I think that's the thing. Like, she's stiff and she's down to get violent.
Right, and I was flicking through the channels because I was bored and there was nothing else on TV, so I landed on AEW Collision, and I saw
That's shout out Vaughn. Shout out Vaughn. Matter of fact,
And
outstanding.
You tried to keep it together.
I was trying to find something because there was nothing else on.
I was out of toilet paper and my finger just landed on the TV.
Right. So I looked at
oh damn, AEW.
Oh, collision! This is still on. And I was like, "Who is this blonde-haired young lady?" And it was Mariah May, and she was doing a promo, and I was like, "Oh, that promo was good, bitch." Mm-hmm. And then I turned the channel because I was like,
on that note,
I appreciate consistency above all.
No, 100%. You got to be you. No matter what you're doing,
shady, yo.
Please be you. I don't care what's going on. I guess I'm gonna rapid fire a couple of days because I don't want to hold nobody too long. Willow Nightingale just signed a multi-year contract with AEW. Apparently, she was close to free agency, but she wasn't trying to be a free agent. And AEW said, "Nah, we need you around here, ma." So shouts out to her.
That's NXT waiting to happen, but whatever, girl. It's your career, not mine.
I mean, I guess we'll see.
NXT is a ceiling.
Well, yeah, I guess NXT is in an interesting situation because it's a ceiling, but like Joe Hendry is the TNA World title holder on NXT, like fairly consistently to the point where folks are like, "Yo, once his contract's up, he about to be WWE bound." Like it feels like he's signing over there fall winter this year, something like that. Like I think he may have a year or so, whatever it is, he's gonna be over there. Like it's a and NXT is turning into a fairly decent incubator for the whole LFG show. Is to get a contract to be on NXT, which could turn you to be on the CW as a game changer on an All American. Like there's a lot of avenues to be on that show. What you laughing about, nigga? What you laugh? You knew what I was talking about.
No, I'm not laughing at shit.
Oh yeah.
How'd you know I was talking about
Toni Storm can't talk all that tits up, rip her tits off.
She do be talking that titty shit.
There was
not on WWE
a man from Nantucket.
Yeah. She told that Toni Storm is the first time I heard that whole limerick in a while.
I was like, come on, bitch. When she said the hits, bitch. Like I said, come the fuck on, bitch.
There once was a woman from 3 cities who loved to show the world her titties.
Her titties. Yeah. So we briefly next week's show we'll have more of a preview for both Battleground and AEW Double or Nothing, which will happen next Sunday.
Where's that? Is it in Las Vegas again?
Backlash. No, not Backlash. Is
Battleground.
Battleground. I don't know where that is.
No, not Battleground. I'm talking about Double or Nothing because they have it every year in Vegas.
It may be one second.
I thought they moved. Did they move Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing is in Arizona. Glendale, Arizona.
New Jersey to Las Vegas. Gotcha.
Battleground is in Tampa, Florida at the Yingling Center if you wanted to go there.
Yeah. Good old Tampa. Good old Florida.
I'm not fond of Tampa.
He said
what arena is that in Arizona, Cal?
Damn, 1 second. I was just looking at that. That is the Desert Diamond Arena.
Desert Diamond Arena.
Yeah.
Now, is that where they have like concerts, or is that like where they have like indie soccer matches and things?
No, yeah, it's indoor football.
Baltimore Blast, huh?
The indoor football leagues, Arizona Rattlers, as well as the Arizona Coyotes from the NHL.
That tracks. Kind of what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because they do the smaller.
Hey, what do you think the prices in those seats are? They're probably pretty affordable, huh?
I would.
In this economy, I think those prices make more sense.
I would assume so. You can probably.
It making more sense than actually buying them are two different things.
I don't know. I be seeing niggas in them smaller venues.
Oh,
They're having a great time.
oh,
They-
you know,
WWE fans be
No,
at the
a little-
arena
a little
complaining about the
talk.
last time.
dim the lights,
It's like,
A
hey,
little
mom had to
talk.
sell her cooter for these seats, you know?
dim the lights, a little talk.
Smells
You
like
can- 5 people look like 500.
your mom. Your mother having to sell her cooter for dicks is crazy.
I'm sorry.
Johnny had to have these seats. Go ahead,
Hey,
get
you
it,
know,
Otis.
so Sean
They-
Trashy
She
said
got dang
AEW is
stormy.
more-
She is storming her way to the front row.
Oh my
Now,
god.
Now, Sean
Let
Trashy
go.
said AEW is more bang for your bucks, and he may be true. But here's the thing, Sean Tragedy. If I'm a 50-year-old masseuse and I'm in a market with a 20-year-old masseuse, I can't charge $250 for a 90-minute and happy ending. I have to charge $150. Okay?
Huh?
That part.
So it's okay. So
Yes,
price
I-
gouging is okay.
Get us out.
You know,
So,
Get us out of here.
so.
Get us out of here.
We got to get out of here. We got to
We
get
can't
out of here.
because I'm gonna get us. We gonna get blocked from. Nah, see,
Nah,
I'm trying not to. I'm trying
couple
not
quick
to.
news hits.
Price gouging on the rub down is crazy.
You want see, and you said the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
Now, a couple serious situations. Well, first out the way. Anybody who was worried about Braun Strowman not having a job, don't worry. WWE Studios is producing a show for him on the USA Network where he tries to eat everything on the menu at the restaurant he's at the time. That's being produced by both Triple H and Lee Fitting.
oh, great. So I knew
So
they had a plan for him.
So good for him.
Yeah, he was
terms
just
of
making too much money.
well, yeah, they figured a way to supplement his contract, I guess.
How is Tiffany Haddish involved with that? Because I've seen him post about her a few times.
That's a good question. I don't know. I matter of fact, I don't think the press release mentioned her at all. I wouldn't be surprised though if she was some type of host or something. But yeah, the press release was very brief. It kind of mentioned the people who were behind the scenes and just said he's going to be eating shit at the restaurant. So who knows? I don't know if they started filming or anything, but they could be the case. Jim Ross announced this week that he got diagnosed with colon cancer.
Yeah.
And he's scheduled for surgery in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Jake the Snake Roberts recently had heart surgery this past Tuesday. So shouts out he was posting a whole thumbs up photo from the hospital, so shouts out to him.
He just did something too, like in ring.
Speaking of people just doing something, there was one of the most recent episodes of Dark Side of the Ring was with Billy Jack Haynes, who like part of that was the whole situation where, let me see because we watched on the Patreon. Let me see if I remember correctly. His wife had dementia, and he said that he assisted her suicide and shot her in the head. And he's currently locked down. But the way he was talking, because people in the comments was like, yo, why would you be talking that reckless when you're in prison on this? They found him to be unfit for trial. So I don't know what that's going to mean, because he's fairly of age at a certain point, and it seems like he's going to be guilty of the crime. But that may be him living in a home or a hospital as opposed to being in Gen Pop or whatever, trying with Casio. Sorry. It's too late in the show for that. Shouts out to Montez Ford being inducted to the Boys and Girls Club of America Alumni Hall of Fame.
That's hard. There was some other notables in that class too. I can't remember who though.
Let me see if they've got this in this link. I didn't realize he was putting on for the Boys and Girls Club of America, but that's like on that level, but that's really dope to see.
Montez Ford looked like a whole like East Asian man when he was his hair out.
Facts. He was in
like
Montez was inducted along
Singh.
Derek Anderson, Kalia Collier, Donnie Edwards, Cedric the Entertainer, Rita Ng, and Donnie Wahlberg What a random class.
Yeah, it was said and Donnie Wahlberg. I saw.
Yeah, what an interesting class. But yeah, shouts out to him for real. Shit. That may be it unless anybody's got anything else going on. Saturday's main event is next Saturday.
God dang it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Look, I can't keep giving up my Saturdays, nigga, especially after what y'all did last week. Like,
far, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight title, and CM Punk and Sammy versus Seth and Braun Breaker in a tag title match. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens, but no, yeah, that's how the wrestling goes. You know, the wrestling never stops, but the show has to stop at a certain point. And I got one question before we get the out of here. DDM, you got Black Rasslin of the Week?
Black Rasslin of the Week. I'm gonna say Tyra May Steele.
Shout out. You've been watching LFG. Shouts to her. The real deal. Brother Fan?
Hey, I'm gonna go with the homie Jocelyn Navarro. We rocking with you, shorty. We rocking with you.
Always have, always will.
Yep.
Brother Matthew?
Yo, shout out to Jocelyn Navarro. I'm gonna go with Jazz. It looks like Jazz picked up a gig at the Performance Center.
That's dope.
So shout out to her. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how it looks. But shout out to Jazz.
Yeah, they just they just honored her at Ashe. They just announced her for the next Ashe. I want to go. I think I want to go.
So
that's the one with the women's title, right?
It's a backpack trip. Like, listen, that's the best thing about that trip is there is no carry on. I'm putting all my clothes in the backpack and I'm in my bed the next night.
It looked like a good show. Shouts out to Jazz. Shouts out to her finally getting her flowers. My Black Rasslin of the Week. Damn. No, my Black Rasslin of the Week is Xavier Woods for two reasons. One, they're both social media. One, because he's got the video with homegirl backstage combing his chest hairs. And two,
he got that from Adrian Broner.
Facts. He been playing the bass for a minute. His bass is getting really good.
Now he's been playing the bass online for a long time.
I forget the song he was playing, but it was some 80s hit, and I mean, he was hitting them notes. He was hitting.
I think I seen him play. I think he was playing DuckTales one time too.
You gotta be very specific when you talk about a nigga playing with some bass.
Whoa!
I ain't know what you.
Hey yo!
I ain't know.
Yeah, it's a matter of fact. Yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of it. DDM.
Hey, him at that Tekken tournament with Kenny Omega was dope too.
That was good too. Yeah, that promo battle was dope. Kenny Omega cutting a good promo. DDM, where can the people find you on social medias? Where can they find everything about DDM? Where can they find it?
At Dapper Damitis.
Brother Fan.
Hey man, IlFam79 on your social media choice, aka Mr. Get It Out the Mud, get it out the grease, because I'm getting it and it's gonna be hot when I get to it.
Matthew, aka Mr. 50 Man. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's the 15th of May. BRP 50 season for the year is the calendar year is done. And if I tell, like, we had a meet. Shouts out AO Bake. I'm not gonna talk about who we've been talking to, but just know that Jokers is working toward next month.
Hey, DDM, can you re-sing Big Rich Town for the 50?
It's a big rich town.
Not right now. We need to capture this audio properly though. Not right now. Please not right now. Cause he
I'm not singing it right now.
That nigga tuning up the band. He tuning up the band.
He was getting ready. I
gotta feel the record, you know.
Yeah.
Never took a straight pass nowhere. 9 foot twist and turn. Bumps and bruises. I didn't know.
Shouts to y'all. At Cal on Twitter, at Black Rasslin, everywhere social media is. BlackRasslin.com, Patreon.com/Black Rasslin. I will say, we've been on a whole catch up on WWE LFG. I gotta watch this past week's episode like tomorrow to be fully, because we about to be done. Shouts out Jasper Troy. You want to talk about Black Rasslins of the week? Shouts out Jasper Troy, Pastor Troy. That's that nigga right there. But let Booker T tell you at some point when he up on the main roster. Shouts out to Mimi. Mimi's got a dope article about why Hulk Hogan is crazy about thinking that him getting booed is anything other than the nonsense has been going on for a bit.
Y'all see that picture of him this week?
Which one?
It's a weird close up. Like, you know how like old niggas don't know how to hold their phone, so it's like right here.
Because he just got neck fusion surgery, right? Like
it's real dark.
I wonder if that was the one. I saw one photo of him in the hospital because he just got it. Anyway, fuck that nigga. We'll be back next week. Again, and it's a lot of wrestling next weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend next weekend, so we're talking.
God dang, next weekend.
Look.
Let me put
next
these days
weekend.
in.
Get your beer ready because look. Saturday night's main event, Saturday, Sunday, Battleground from NXT, which is including the Obafemi. Shouts out Obafemi as well. Woo! Shouts out Obafemi as well as AEW Double or Nothing show on Sunday. It's a lot going on next week. Let's get the fuck out of here. Again, peace to Mimi. Peace y'all in the chat. Fuck with y'all heavy. We gotta get out of here. Let me
love you, no pause.
Peace to Prims. Shouts to Prims. DDM, please take us out.
Isn't it ironic? All you wanna do is smoke chronic, but then you forgot when you were down.